Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Balanced Vibes podcast. I'm Kirsten, your host. I hope you are having a great day and great week. So, what are we going to talk about today? Today, we're going to talk about how to start replacing your cardio workouts with some resistance training if you want to do it, if you maybe want to get the physique results that you haven't seen yet. You just don't know how to get started. And it's also really difficult to let go of these habits that you may currently be having, doing cardio maybe 4, 5, 6 days a week. How do you let go of that? Because I know that mentally it can be a really difficult shift to make. And I want to say that there's nothing wrong in doing cardio. If this is something that you like, you truly enjoy it, maybe you also have a cardio related goal, then I think go for it. Do it. I'm never going to say that you should not be doing it. However, if you haven't seen the results that you want to see, if you want your body to change in a certain way, and that certain way usually means building more muscle and looking more toned or looking more muscular, which are the same things, then you really just cannot do it without resistance training. It's pretty much impossible. I mean, with running and rowing and all these things, you of course you use your arms and legs a little bit, but you will never get the same muscle building and muscle toning effects that you would get from resistance training. And I know that for so many years it has been the tradition, or it's been the story that many women believe in, that I have to do lots of cardio in order to lose weight and then shape my body. And it can be so difficult to let go of that. It's the same thing as, with calories and with food. We are so used to hearing that less is better, but it's not always the case. You probably already know this. So there are so many benefits to resistance training, and building and shaping your body is just one of them. Like I said, there's many more. But if this is your big reason, like this is one thing that you really want to do, then in my opinion, you just cannot do it with only cardio. And before I give you more like practical tips how you can start changing that workout routine that you currently have, how you can start incorporating more lifting, how you can actually get serious about strength training and reduce your cardio a little bit. Before that, I actually want to give you a little bit of my own background and story, like how I transitioned from what some people call like a total cardio bunny to more only basically doing resistance training right now, other than walking and hiking, which I definitely do also very frequently. But I wanted to give you this background because that helps you maybe see some of the changes that happened along the way, and some of the ways that kind of helped me to take the next step. Because for me, it didn't happen from going only cardio all the time to all of a sudden resistance training 4 days a week and not going running anymore. There were so many little steps in between, and each one of them kind of helped me to get closer to more resistance training. So I'm going to walk you through that, and maybe you can find some things that resonate with you. Maybe you are halfway on this journey that I'm about to describe you. Maybe you are in the very beginning. I don't know, but hopefully part of it will resonate with you. So between 2007 and 2013 or even 14, I did only cardio training. So 2007 was the year when I decided that I want to lose weight. I joined the Weight Watchers and I started doing lots of cardio. So 6 days a week, at least running for at least an hour, many days also 2 hours, and some days even 3 hours, almost always fasted. And this is the only thing I did. And I really remember that when other people were talking about, gotta go to the gym or gotta find a new plan to follow, I was literally thinking, why are you going to the gym? This is just dumb. I mean, can you see how good things are, with just running? I don't go to the gym. I only run. The only thing I ever need is a pair of running shoes. And this is true. Like running is very accessible. You all only need running shoes and some clothes. You don't need a gym equipment. You don't need weights. You don't need anything. So I think it's really cool. And I still to this day, I think it is very great thing about it. But I just didn't even think about going to the gym, because in my world it was useless, it was worthless. And why was it useless or worthless? Because in my mind back then it was like, but it doesn't burn calories, right? I would go for a run. If I ran for one hour, then I burned about 500 calories. And then if I somehow ended up at a gym and did a workout without knowing what the heck I was doing, just random crap, a little bit here and there, I would burn maybe 150 calories. And in my world, it was like, this is totally pointless because I only focused on calories. So if this is what you're doing right now too, you're only focusing on calories, but you haven't gotten the results, then something needs to change. And maybe this is this is one really important thing for you to know, that getting the physique results that you want, it does not really depend on how many calories you burn at the gym. Of course, a little bit, yes, it does matter, but the majority doesn't come from calorie burning. The majority of your results actually come from building muscle and teaching your body to be better at calorie burning. So it's not about the manual calorie burning that you have to be doing. Okay, so until about 2013, I did only cardio. 2013 was the year that I ran my last marathon. And after that, I haven't run a single one, because around 2014, I was actually following somebody on, I was following her blog, and her name was Tina Hoppert. And Tina has actually been on my podcast too. She's now also a nutrition coach and natural holistic health coach, I think is the correct way to say it. And I will put the episode that I did with her in the show notes too. So she is really working, yes, with macros, but also hormones, digestive health, and all that. And I was back then around 2013, even before that, actually way before that, I was following Tina and reading her blog all the time. But it wasn't until 2014 that I started getting interested in CrossFit, because Tina was doing CrossFit. And I was like, oh, what is that about? And she had this story too, where she had been only a runner, just like me before. And now she had changed into this, started doing this other form of exercise, which was called CrossFit. And back then, 2014, I was back in Estonia after my 11 months in the United States. And I stayed in Estonia for about a year. And during that time, there was literally only one CrossFit box in Estonia. And I joined that because I was like, I want to see what this thing is about, because I had seen how Tina had transformed her body. Like, she had gone from this, good, in a pretty good shape, right, to now having like real muscle. And I was like, wow, that looks really awesome. And even before I joined that one and only CrossFit gym that we had back then, I had started trying out some of the moves that I had seen that she's doing. I had started trying them out at my local gym that I joined. And I was like, trying to do some snatches and trying to do whatever, a couple of deadlifts here and there, totally new to these things, right? And then I joined CrossFit. And I was in CrossFit maybe only about 6 months. And during that time, I did CrossFit, but also kept running too. I remember some of the runs were really long, still a couple of hours or so. But CrossFit really changed the way I saw strength training, and also really helped me to change my eating, because back then I was still kind of like, I should be avoiding certain things and can't have this and can't have that. But it taught me the importance of protein, and it also taught me that, you should be eating more meat, and you should be really like getting more calories. And this is what I did. And for me, it really helped me. And plus, of course, dietary fat, which is something that I had always been so fearful of. And I started eating a lot more. I realized that if I want to get stronger, I have to eat more, and I have to train. And so if I want to train hard, I have to have energy for it. And so even though I didn't stay with CrossFit for too long, and I still don't think that it's the appropriate training form for a lot of people, I think it's for very, very healthy and super fit people. It can be fine. I know that people will say, yeah, there's modifications, but I don't think it's the perfect way of exercise for everybody. But that's maybe another topic. But for me, it was definitely a good introduction to that type of strength training that's actually strength training. That's not only just like a little bit of like boot camp class or like a whatever the classes are out there. For me, this was like, oh, okay, wow, like this is what strength training is like. This is how it can transform your body. That's pretty awesome. Look at me, I can do my first pull-up. Isn't that cool? I learned how to do kettlebell swings. I totally fell in love with kettlebells. But this was still like this sort of like a conditioning, kind of fast, how the WODs are, right? You do things really intensely, and then you sprint, and then you row, sometimes like a bunch of things together. So yes, it was strength training, but it was kind of like a hybrid. It was strength and conditioning and a little bit of cardio and all that, but it was a good introduction for me. So after that, about between 2014 and 16, I stopped CrossFit, actually moved back to the US and stayed here and been here since then, 2015. But then that was a period when I did a lot of HIIT training. I did consider continuing CrossFit, but I decided it's too expensive to join a box. So I just did a lot of HIIT training, and I kind of like went back to this like calorie burning mentality, go super fast, go super hard. And I still did some running too. So maybe a little bit less strength training, but still it wasn't only cardio, because it's high intensity, you get a little bit of strength too. And then 2016, at the end of 2016, I actually had to stop all training because I was really overtrained from so many years of cardio, so many years of high intensity training. And I had never done proper strength training, you guys. I had never done like muscle building. I have never taken the time to focus on my food and put solid muscle in my body. And this is why I had all these hormonal issues that I had. Many of you know that I didn't have a period for 10 years, which was since 2007 when I got started with this crazy amount of cardio and so severe undereating. Then now at the end of 2016, I actually had to take a break. And this break took 6 months when I couldn't work out. I didn't do anything else other than walking and yoga a couple of times a week, which was it was like a nice and restorative time, of course. And I really enjoyed the yoga, and I enjoyed like this mental freedom of like not having to do stuff all the time, because I was like addicted to exercise and addicted to this like calorie burning mentality. Still, I have to do more. So I started to definitely let go of that completely. And in May 2017, when my periods come back, then I was like, okay, I can start working out again. And what I did then was just a weird mix of stuff. So I I tried to run a little bit, but that didn't feel right. And also my cycles got all weird when I started running again. And I still had very much of this like high intensity mindset, because this was the only form of strength training that I really knew about, right? Like, oh yeah, okay, if I do push-ups fast, this is strength training, right? I just do like 50 body weight squats real fast. This is strength training. And it sort of is a little bit in that it's not only cardio, but it's still not the same thing as solid resistance training the way I do it now and the way I teach my clients right now. So between 2017 and 19 was kind of like a searching, right? Like I didn't know. I also had this extra body weight on my body that I was not really happy with. I had to gain some of it to recover from my hormonal issues, but I had definitely gone overboard. I was eating froyo for dinner and just so many snacks and sweets and treats all the time. And then just random workouts without structure. I would find somebody whose workout I would do on Instagram, or I would go back to my high intensity training once in a while. It was just like random stuff thrown together, and random stuff thrown together gives you random results. And back then I was also teaching boot camps, and boot camps, they're super fun. I love them. I've talked about it a lot. But a lot of the times they are just like, moving quickly from one exercise to another. And this is sort of like what I did in my own training as well. I still kept kettlebells in rotation, and I really love kettlebell training. And still, I think it's really fun, but it was a mess. And no surprise that I didn't get really any results at all. And then around 2020 was the time when I decided in March that, I want to do something about that body fat that I have put on. And I learned about macros. And together with that, I really found real strength training. So the same friend who gave me my initial macro plan and helped me to lose body fat, then she also gave me her workout plan. And that was definitely more strength training. There was a little bit of cardio in between sets sometimes, but it was definitely the closest to real strength training that I had done. And then at the end of 2020 and early 2021, it was like pure strength training, only strength training. I finally got myself like solid plan to follow, solid routines. I learned what it is like to work out and then rest, and do a next set and then rest. And then I started seeing like, oh, okay, my shoulders are really starting to take that shape. And wow, doesn't that look good? And wow, look, there are my quads. And I would really start like finding these muscles, and my body started taking more of the shape that I have right now. And it was really awesome to see. And what I realized was that all these years of like trying to do so much stuff, just cram a bunch of stuff into my workouts just to do more, this whole approach has been so wrong. There's no regrets, obviously. What's there to regret? But it was just so awesome to see that with 3 solid workouts a week, where I really focus on mind muscle connection, moving heavier weights, not doing bazillion reps super quickly. That started to then giving me like really good results. And this is what I consider, this is where my actual like real strength training started. So when you think about it, it hasn't even been that long. We are in August 2022, and it's been only a couple of years when I've been like really doing good strength training. And I can, would be super fun and super great to say that I've been doing this since I was 16. And I definitely would have avoided a lot of mistakes and a lot of hormonal issues that I had, throughout my 20s and even early 30s. But it is what it is. And in these couple of years of real building, I've seen so much better results. And I just have so much more mental capacity too, and like time, because I don't have to work so hard all the time and work out every minute that I have. It's just, there's just so much more freedom in all that. So as you see the journey from doing just cardio, which started in 2007, to find like actual real strength training from around 2000, like 2020. And then after that, it's been a very long journey. And I really want this journey to be shorter for you, so that you don't have to go through these ups and downs and tons of hit and all kinds of weird times where you just don't know what to do, because there seems to be a lot of confusing information. Some people say you should be doing more hit, and other people should say that you shouldn't be doing more hit, you should do more cardio. And other people say you should do like split days when you do strength training. And some people say you should be doing full body days. And you're just like so freaking confused. Like, what is the right thing? And then you're just like, you know what? I'm going to go back to my class and I'm going to do that, Orange Theory or whatever fitness class, or I go for a run. This is the easier thing. I don't want you to do that. I want you to find resistance training, because it's so great. Like, the benefits you get from it is just so great. Okay, so now I want to give you 3 reasons that, my opinion, are the reasons why changing your routine from tons of cardio to more resistance training is just so hard. So the first thing is when you only think about calories, and this can be that trap where, like I said, the same thing for me too. It's just the only thing that you look at is your watch, right? How many calories you burned. So this is one big reason, because you just don't see what is the point of doing resistance training if it literally burns 150, 200 calories compared to my 500 calories that I can get burned while I'm running. But this is one big reason. You just have to let go of that, and just have to keep bigger picture in mind. You are not here for the immediate results. You are not here to burn 500 calories. You are here to, doing this workout, this resistance training workout, you are here to send your body a long-term signal. What's going to happen if I do this 3 times a week over the course of 2 or 3 months? You are building your metabolism. Building muscle is the best thing that you can do to speed up your metabolism, so that now your body burns calories for you. You don't have to do manually. So that tracker on your wrist that tracks your calories, that can really mess with your head. So you have to let go of that. The second reason is, when you start lifting, you don't see immediate results, right? You don't get this like immediate gratification of like so much, like I poured so much sweat, for example, or I feel so accomplished, the way you maybe feel after running. So there's not always like this immediate gratification, at least at first, when you make that shift. Later it will be, because you are going to feel satisfied also with the amount of like work you put into your resistance training workout. It actually feels good to like do 10 squats and feel like you gave it almost your all. But at first you don't feel the same kind of satisfaction, because it's different. You are used to get that sense of accomplishment from being exhausted after running. So that's what I'm trying to say here. So it's just like a different kind of feeling at the end of the workout. So this is another reason why it may feel like, I don't want to do this, because you just don't feel the same sense of accomplishment. The accomplishment is there, you just don't feel it yet, right? You just don't know it yet. And then the third reason why changing your routine to more lifting and less cardio is that you just don't know what the hell you're there to do. Like, what am I supposed to do? How many sets? How many reps? Do I have to rest in between? Do I have to stretch? Do I have to walk? Do I have to do burpees? No, you don't. Whatever it is, you just don't know what to do. And that's how you end up doing lots of workouts just randomly from Instagram or from YouTube. And if there's no consistency with it, then you just don't get as good results as you could be getting if you had a proper organized and structured plan. So what are the things then that help you to start making that shift? So we talked about why it is so difficult, right? You're focusing too much on calories. You think you don't get the same sense of like accomplishment or satisfaction from your workout. And also you don't know what to do. So what helps you to then start lifting and start changing your program so that you're doing more resistance training and get all the benefits from it? The first thing I actually already mentioned, let go of that calorie tracking, and more like a practical thing. Even if you cannot, then you just gonna have to take that wrist thing off that's tracking your calories, or ring or Fitbit or whatever it is. If you just can't stop choosing your workouts based on calorie burn. If you're still like, no, I'm going to go running because that burns 500 calories and weight session only burns 200, then you keep making the wrong choice. And I don't want you to do that. So if you feel like you just can't do it otherwise, then just take that wristband thing off, the ring off, and then just go do your workout without it, because that's the only way you're not going to focus on calories. The next tip that I have for you is that you got to let go. You may have to let go of the scale for a little bit, because resistance training may not give you immediate weight loss results. It just may not be. And if you have always thought about just weighing less and losing more, and that's why you are doing all these treadmills and whatever you're doing, if you're still so focused on the scale, you're going to be disappointed at first, because your scale may go up. And now you're going to think that I'm totally out of my mind. But I will say that sometimes it's even good if your scale weight goes up, because if your measurements stay same, you might even be losing some measurements. They may go down. This only means that you're building a little bit more muscle, and it's not a bad thing long term. It's not a bad thing. So if you just cannot, if you keep letting the scale dictate what sort of workout you should be choosing, then you just have to put the scale away, or ask a family member to put it away or throw it out, whatever it is, if you can't avoid it. Okay. So be really mindful of that, and be okay if your weight goes up a little bit. I always remind people, what do you think muscle is? Does it weigh anything? Of course it weighs. Muscle is not thin air. So of course your scale may go up a little bit. But that doesn't always mean that your measurements are going to change. Right now, actually working with somebody who has gained quite a bit of weight, and if she was scared by that, she probably would have walked away by now. But at the same time, she has dropped 13 inches total of her body. We have been increasing calories. She's been doing 3 strength workouts a week, and previously, so what she had always done if she wanted to lose weight was just going super low calories, totally depleting her body. And now resistance training, eating more, yes, she has gained weight. Yes, it can happen. But this is actually not the worst thing that could happen, because like I said, her measurements are down 13 inches and she has so much more energy. And she sends me pictures of like, hey, look, I'm leaning out, and it can totally happen. So you have to stop using the scale as a way to measure your success. Okay, the next thing to start shifting your workouts is that you don't have to go cold turkey quitting your cardio, and you don't have to quit it altogether either. So let's say that you are right now running 5 days a week, and you're like, okay, she tells me that I have to start lifting. So I'm not saying that you cannot go for a single run anymore, ever. I might tell you that let's reduce that. Let's cut that back to 2. It may actually depend. If the person is really depleted, then I might be a little bit more strict with it, because if the body is just so burnt out and depleted and the calories have been really, really slow, then I may have to do this just to give the body the time to heal and recover. But if you're not in this terrible situation, and your body is doing, it's all right, it's doing okay, and this maybe not super well, but it's doing okay, I'm not going to cut all that running out if this is what you truly enjoy. But if you're telling me that I actually fucking hate that thing, then I'm like, well, cool, you don't have to do cardio, just go for longer walks and walk a little bit more. That's fine. And then you're going to do resistance training. But I also want to say, because I think there's a lot of type A listeners there who want to do all of the things all of the time. So when I now tell you that you're going to do 3 resistance training workouts a week, then you're going to be like, okay, cool, 3 strength workouts plus then the 5 cardio sessions that I did before. No. This is not what we're doing. This is called overtraining, and this is totally unnecessary. You are not like an athlete who like, this is not your job, right? So you just want to be in good shape, and you're a regular person, I'm assuming. So you're going to do the strength workouts and leave a little bit of cardio in there if you want to. I'm not going to take it away from you unless your body is like really depleted and you need to give it just a little bit more rest. Okay, so what else helps you to start shifting more towards lifting and less cardio? Well, take an honest look at how your current approach has worked for you. Do you like what you see? Do you like how far you have come? Are you getting the results that you have been wanting? Because if you haven't, then clearly your current approach has not been giving you the things that you want it to give you. And just thinking that if I keep doing the same thing and maybe this time I get a different outcome, it's just not going to happen. And I think, just be really honest with yourself. Has anything changed? Do I feel better? Or am I getting closer to my goals? What's the deal? And that will give you the answer what to do next. All right. The next tip that I have for you is read more inspirational posts, follow more people who have made similar shift that you are about to make. So there are so many people who have kind of like similar history to mine, who used to be like only cardio, 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 never touching weights. And then at some point they made that shift and started doing more resistance training. Their stories are very inspiring. Their pictures, you probably look at those too, are very inspiring. And you're like, okay, if they could do it, why could I not do it? Because you absolutely can. I think everybody can put on muscle, even if you're like 40s and 50s, like, oh, I can't. Of course you can. You definitely can. So it's not like there's something wrong with the genetics. It's just that your nutrition and training are currently not on point, but you can absolutely change that. The next thing that helps you to make that shift towards more resistance training is keep in mind your future health. We all know that carrying a good amount of muscle is healthy. It's important for healthy aging, staying independent longer, having better bone density, which for us ladies is very important, right? As we all know, there are many benefits, better blood sugar regulation. So the more muscle you have, the better your insulin sensitivity. Also for balance, for coordination. Sometimes I hear from people like really sad stories, how they tell me that their mom or their other older family member, in their 80s, they just can't take a step basically anymore independently because they've never had a healthy lifestyle or they've never done any resistance training. So like in the previous episode, we talked with Erica too. She says that you have to start thinking already now what your future is going to look like, even if right now you feel like you're invincible. But you have to think about it a little bit more because there's going to be a day when we're old and then we have to be able to be independent. I mean, everybody wants to be independent, right? You have to think about that stuff before. And if you maybe have somebody in your family or somebody that you know and you can see, okay, this is what happens when I don't take care of myself. That way, I don't want this for myself. And there are things, no matter what your age is right now, you can start taking steps towards that better health through resistance training. The next thing that helps you to get started with lifting is hire a coach. So a good coach, or you can also get a good online program, training program. But of course, there are many things to look out for. If the training program looks like bazillion exercises in 60 minutes or 30 minutes, just together like random stuff, no rhyme or reason, then this is not a workout program that you want to do. Read reviews, ask other people's experiences. Don't pick a trainer who just beats the crap out of their clients. If you go to the gym and you're like, oh, okay, like, I don't know, Gina told me that her trainer really beat her up so good. Like she's so exhausted and like so tired and so sore every time. I want that trainer. No, you don't want that trainer because this trainer is just making the person exhausted. This is not what we want. So see instead, if there's somebody who has been with this trainer for like a year or maybe even longer, because that's probably a good trainer. And if their body reflects, the change, then that's awesome. And ask people, read some reviews and so on. But if you don't currently know where to even begin strength training, then it's a really great investment to hire a coach or buy a good online program. And of course, you can also get started with my free program, which is the Lean Ladies Calorie, Protein, and Workout Guide. This is actually really good, totally free. It gives you the foundation for your resistance training. So you can absolutely get started with that too. And then the last tip is to trust the process, okay? Trust the process. It's going to take some time. Like I've already mentioned, it's not like immediate results just like that, like you would get like, okay, tons of calories burned. It's not like that. It's going to take some time. So it may take a month or two or sometimes 3 before you start your body really responding to what you're trying to do. And of course, that's if you are consistent. If you are doing 3 workouts a week, if you're a total beginner, you can even start with 2 and you should still see results and you keep your steps high and you keep your protein high. So these small things will give you results, but you have to trust the process and you cannot run back to, like literally run back to cardio the minute your scale is up. a pound. You cannot run back to it the minute when where you realize that you're not burning enough calories. You cannot run back the minute you feel like maybe a little fluffier, right? The fluffier feeling is sometimes just your body putting on muscle and you're just not used to it. So you have to trust the process and stick with it, and it will absolutely pay off. And like I said earlier, I just wish I had done this before, because it has been such a great way for me to just have so much more mental freedom too, and getting so much better physique results. And I wish I had done this earlier. So I hope this helped you out if you are somebody who's considering changing from all this cardio that you might be doing right now to more resistance training, because you have heard that this is useful, this is helpful, and this is more likely to give you the shape that you want, then this episode should really help you. Also wanted to tell you that I have a brand new Facebook group, that, actually not brand new, but I brought it back, a Facebook group that is getting more and more active right now. So if you have any questions about lifting, eating, I am there literally almost every single day, posting stuff, helpful materials. So then just join the Facebook group. I'm going to put the link in the show notes and everywhere where I am, so that you can join and jump in and share your thoughts. It's totally free. And we have a community of 150 something women in there. So I think it's great. And I would like to see you there as well. So thank you so much for being here. I hope you found something helpful from this episode, and I will talk to you again soon. Thanks and bye.